Coming back, 2013, question number 5, subsection 1. So they're asking you to briefly explain the meaning of the investment multiplier. Now they are giving you 4 marks. So what can you write, guys? Think. Now you all know what the investment multiplier is. Now you all know when investments increase, national income will increase a multiple number of times. That is what investment multiplier means, no? Right. So now you will have to explain that. So how can you say? You can say, right, when investment increases, you can say, when investment increases, initially, national income increases by the same amount. Remember the investment multiplier rounds, the first round and then the subsequent rounds. You can explain that. So you can say when investment increases, initially national income increases by the same amount. Okay. Then what happens? Then this gets passed on to consumption. No, let's say a firm is investing 100 million to start a factory. Let's say they are spending that. So when they do that, investment increase by 100, national income increase by 100. Then what happens? Let's say this 100 million is received as salaries for the workers. So workers who are building that factory are getting the 100 million. So then what happens? Then subsequently what happens? That increase gets passed on to consumption. No, that's how it multiplies. See, when investment increases initially, national income increases by the same amount. Thereafter, right? Thereafter, you can say there is a subsequent, right? Subsequent means after that, subsequent increase in consumption. There is a subsequent increase in consumption that is resulted because of this. Or you can say, you can word it a little better. What you need to say is initially investment increase. Because of that, the national income will also increase. And after that, this will get passed on to consumption. So it will go on and on. That's what you need to say. And then you can say the the multiplier or the investment multiplier is equal to the change in national income divided by the change in investment. And then you can say the size of the investment multiplier will depend on what? Size of the investment multiplier will depend on the MPC. So you can give a small example. You can say, for example, if the MPC is 0.8, our multiplier is 1 over 1 minus MPC, multiplier would be 5 times. In other words, if investment increases by a certain amount, national income will increase by 5 times more. So if you can give that properly, you get your 4 marks, guys. What is the investment multiplier? How do you calculate it? What does the size of it depend on? Your 4 marks is properly sorted. Is that okay? Fine. Yes. You need to write and practice. Okay, so look at your tune, look at your answer things. Yes, calculations are easy, guys. Calculations, you're guaranteed of getting the full mark. Okay. Second statement is this, guys. Remember when remember the theory that we learned? Size depends on the MPs, not equal to the MPs. The size of the this one depends on the MPC. So if the MPC is high, your investment multiplier is higher. MPC is lower, investment multiplier is low. Okay, right. Then remember this story, guys. Now, when investment increase, initially what happens? It goes and affects national income. Then when national income increases, what happens? Part of it is passed on to consumption, right? Then consumption increase. That again increases national income. Then again, part of it is consumed. So that is what I'm explaining in my second point, guys. Remember, go and check when I taught you all multiply in the theory class or something, how that passes on to consumption. Initially, it goes here, then that goes into this. At the end, there is a huge increase in national income. That is what I'm explaining here, guys. I'm saying here, thereafter, there is a subsequent increase in consumption. Here, consumption. Subsequent increase in consumption that is resulted because of this. Fine. Can handle safe. Okay. Then we'll go into question 2. Yes, just like credit creation. Now, distinguish between inflationary gap and a recessionary gap. Theory questions are trouble, no? Inflationary and recessionary gap. Okay. So, what can you tell about the inflationary gap? Yes. How are these gaps created? How are these gaps created? When you either produce more or less than your full employment level, right? So when do you have an inflationary gap? An inflationary gap occurs when, right, your equilibrium level of national income. No, this is not inventory accumulation. Inflationary gap you have now in inventory accumulation and shortage. You are not at equilibrium. Don't get those two confused, guys. Okay. Now see, now it's like this, right? You have your y equals e. You have this. This side is a inventory shortage. This blue side is a inventory accumulation. That is shortage accumulation. Then what is inflationary and deflationary gap? Yes, diagrams look similar. So let's say, for example, this is the full employment level of output, but you're actually at equilibrium here. You are at equilibrium above full employment. That's called inflationary output. Yeah. Then let's say you are at equilibrium below full employment. You are at equilibrium here. Then you are at equilibrium below full employment. That's called recessionary output. Yeah. So don't confuse this and that. Okay. Increase in A, then expenditure that is needed for full employment. Okay. So you can say, for example, right, an inflationary output gap is where the equilibrium level of national income, right, is greater than the full employment level. So the amount by which the equilibrium level of national income, let's say full employment level is 1000 and your equilibrium level is, let's say, 1200. So that means you have an inflationary output gap of 200. So how do you explain this? You can say the amount by which the equilibrium level exceeds the full employment level of national income is the inflationary output gap. For example, you can give an example, guys. Now, if you feel that your definition is not very clear, try to back it with an example. You can say, for example, if equilibrium full employment level is 1000 and the equilibrium level is 1200, that means there is a inflationary output gap of 200. That's another trick that you all can use, guys. Now, when you all are writing certain definitions and stuff, you know it, but when you write it, you're not sure whether the examiner will understand this. Then back it up with an example. Give in a small example, put some numbers and show, like I'm doing over here. You're saying that, look here, inflationary output gap is the amount by which the actual output is more than the full employment. Now, you're not sure whether the examiner will understand. Then say, actual equilibrium is 1002, full employment is 1000, therefore there is an inflationary output gap of 200. So in a situation like this, what will happen, guys? In a situation of an inflationary output gap, the nominal GDP or the nominal output will increase. Nominal output increases because of what? Due to an increase in what? Due to an increase in prices. In other words, you can say there is inflation in the economy. What can you tell about the real output, guys, in this situation? The real output, does the real GDP or the real output also increase? You can say, guys, the real output is not affected. Now, think, guys, you can't produce more than your full employment level now. So the only way that your nominal output is higher than your full employment level because your price is high. So let's say Sri Lanka, if we use all our resources, we can produce, let's say, 1000 units. Let's say price is 10, so our value of our output is 10,000. Now, how come our equilibrium level of output is 12,000? That is not because our output has increased. Our output is still 1,000, but it's our price that has increased. That's what you call inflation gap. Okay, output has increased because the prices have gone up. See, this is here. Nominal output increases due to an increase in prices. Nominal output 10,000 gone to 12,000. Real output is not affected. Yeah, your real output is still the same number. Okay, and then you can say, during this stage, right, there is you can say there is no unemployment. That's an inflationary output gap. Then what about the other? What about a recessionary gap? Now you can write the opposite here. You can say a recessionary gap occurs when the equilibrium level or the actual output is lesser than the full employment. When it's lesser than. Inflationary when it was higher. Recessionary is when it is lesser than the full employment. Then you can say the amount by which the actual output is lesser than the full employment is the recessionary gap. So you can give an example. You can say, look here, full employment is 1,000, actual output is only 700. That means there is a recessionary gap of 300. You can say that. And then during this, what happens, guys? During a recessionary gap, nominal output and real output both decreases. Okay, and also you can say unemployment in the economy starts to go up. So if you have highlighted those, if you want, you can draw a diagram and back it also, but here they are not asking for a diagram, so I don't think it's needed because they are asking for both inflationary, recessionary for 4 marks. 2 marks inflationary, 2 marks recessionary is enough. If you want, draw a diagram also and show. It can make your answer more correct. Is that okay, guys? It's a good question, not very hard, but you should know how to write. Can you all go through the marking scheme and whatever that you all have and write a nice answer? Okay. Give me a second, getting a call. Okay, right. Then we'll go to the next. Okay, so this is the small diagram that I had, guys. Hold on. Okay, so I just added this from the internet. Look at this case. Here, see. Okay, we'll go with the inflation gap first. Look at this. Here, see. Your full employment level is this, right? Where your long run aggregate supply meets your aggregate demand. So this is your full employment level. Okay. But where are you at equilibrium? This is using the ADAS curves, not Y equals E curves. Okay. So here, you're actually at equilibrium here. Now, guys, don't get confused with what I explained here, right? This is the Y equals E diagram. Now, here what I'm trying to show you is the aggregate demand, aggregate supply. So your full employment level is here, but you're at equilibrium, the blue circle place. So therefore, what happens? See, unemployment is low, output is high, actual price level is more, right? Your prices are higher. You can explain that. Then what happens here, guys? Recessionary is where the economy is below full employment. Full employment level, menna method. Why? Where are you at equilibrium? At here, Y1. So you are below equilibrium, below full employment. See, unemployment is how high, real output is low, and then price levels are also low. What will happen? Nominal and real GDP in a recessionary gap. So nominal in a recessionary gap, nominal and real GDP are lower, have decreased. That's what you can say, or at a low level. Okay. Nominal and real GDP are at a lower level in a recessionary output gap. Then we'll go into this. Okay, this is a question connecting with the same thing that we learned before. They are saying a simple income expenditure model of income determination shows that the economy can be at equilibrium with either inflation or unemployment, or neither. explain using appropriate diagrams. So remember guys, you can say the economy is at equilibrium when what? When Y is equal to E. So then you can say there is something called a full employment level. Now, for example, you can be at equilibrium at full employment. You can be at equilibrium, let's say your right, let's say your full employment level is only this much, but you're at equilibrium over here. So you can be at equilibrium above full employment. That's called the inflationary output gap. You can also be at equilibrium, right? Let's say your full employment level is here, right? But you're at equilibrium only here. Okay. So these are the situations, guys. That's what they're asking in this. Okay? So this is equilibrium at full employment. The second graph is equilibrium with inflation. That is equilibrium above the full employment, right? So this is equilibrium with inflation. Then what's the third graph? You're below full employment. This is equilibrium with unemployment. We have done this question so many times, right? Even in the fast track canal, there were so many questions from this. For inflationary gap, we can't say, you can say the actual output is, the nominal output is more than the real output. You can say that in the inflationary gap. Can you all handle something like this case? It's a very easy question. It looks like very hard, but it's a very simple question to show these output gaps case. In my, you can go to your theory tute, whatever that you have, it's there at the end, guys. Go to the end of your theory tute, page number, maybe page number 30. Yeah, 29 and 30 in your theory tutes. See, full employment level of output. How can you be at equilibrium at full employment? How can you be at equilibrium with inflation that is above full employment? See, YF is over here, but you are at equilibrium above that, Y2. Okay. Then you can show at equilibrium with unemployment. That's a deflationary output gap. Full employment is YF here, but you are at equilibrium at a lesser level. So, you know, you can draw these diagrams and you can write a small description. 4 marks. No? So have the 3 diagrams. For each diagram, have a small 1 to 2 line explanation. That is more than enough for you to get your 4 marks. Okay. Yes. In the second diagram, how is the actual output more than the full employment? That is because of inflation, right? Remember, output is price into quantity. You're producing more than full employment means not that your quantity has gone up, your price is higher. That's how it gives that. Remember, I explained this story here, this one over here. Okay, that's what an inflationary output gap means. Done. Is that okay, guys? Do you all draw the diagrams? Because I'm hoping you all wrote the answers and came right. Otherwise, this will be utter Greek for you. If you have not attempted the paper and not written answers and come, this explanation will be difficult. So anyone who is watching the recordings or anything in the future, first attempt the paper, write your answers, and then come and watch the whatever explanation that is there. Because just listening to it is going to be too fast. You're not going to understand much unless you have spent some time to do the question on your own. Then it would make sense. Okay. Then the last question, it's a calculation, very easy, guys. Okay. We'll quickly do this and we can finish things off for today. Suppose that for a particular closed economy, for a given time period, investment was equal to 100. Government purchases was equal to 75. Taxes were fixed at 100 and consumption is 25 plus 0.8 YD, where YD is disposable income. What are the values of the government expenditure and the tax multiplier? Ayo. How do you find the government expenditure multiplier? That is 1 over 1 minus MPC. So that is 1 over 1 minus MPC is how much? 0.8. So 1 over 1 minus a 0.8. So how much do we get? We get 5 times. So you do this, you get 2 marks. Then how do you calculate tax multiplier, KT is equal to minus B, that is your MPC, over 1 minus B. So B is MPC, 0.8. So minus 0.8 divided by 1 minus 0.8. So that is minus 0.8 divided by 0.2. You get a tax multiplier of minus 4 times. So that is your 4 marks there. Is that okay? During inflationary gap, nominal and real GDP are increased. Nominal GDP is increased, real GDP remains constant in the inflationary gap. For inflation gap, what if I write the vertical distance between actual expenditure and full employment level of output and the expenditure that can be served using full employment? Not very clear, no? So when we're talking about these gaps, focus on the output. Don't focus on the expenditures. I don't talk about the vertical aspect. Talk about the horizontal. That's better. Okay, done. So then part B. Suppose that the full employment level of this economy is 1,000. What would be the increase in government spending required to reach full employment? Alternatively, what reduction in tax collection would be sufficient to reach full employment? First, guys, to figure this out, you need to figure out how much is the equilibrium level. Can you all tell me how much is the equilibrium level, guys, here? In this question, can you all do this? Y equals E. So Y is equal to E. Y is equal to how much? C is 25 plus 0.8 YD. So I'll say Y minus T plus taxes. Investment is 100. Government spending is 75. Okay. So you solve this, how much do you get? You move things around. For taxes, you put how much? 100 and C? 600? Yes. Others also, you all get that answer. Y is equal to, okay, right. So your equilibrium level is 600. Yes, I'm not showing you how to solve that. I'm hoping by now you all know how to do this. Okay. So your equilibrium level is 600. From 600, you want to go to 1,000. So how much of a change in income do you need? You need a change in income of 400. So they are asking you how to get this 400, guys. Simple, no, guys. Think. We'll first think, what should happen to government spending? Your government spending, K is equal to, you know, change in income over change in government spending. Government spending multiplies 5 times. We calculated. Okay. So we need a change in income of 400 from 600 to go to full employment of 1,000. So for this to happen, they are asking, by how much should government spending change by? Can you work around and give me the number? By how much should government spending change by, guys? For us to get to this equilibrium, government spending should increase by 80, no? If it increases by 80, it gets multiplied by 5, then national income will increase by 400. So then 600 will become 1,000. Can you see how easy that is? So government spending has to change by how much? By 80. So they're asking, what would be the increase in government spending required to reach full employment? You do this calculation, this is your working, and then say, look here, government expenditure has to increase by 80. As a result, equilibrium would go from 600 to 1,000. Then again, they're asking, alternatively, what should be the reduction in tax collection? So how do you find this? Your tax multiplier is again change in income over change in taxes. How much is your tax multiplier? We calculated tax multiplier minus 4. So then you put it to the equation. Minus 4, change in income we need is 400. So then how much should my change in tax be? Work around and see. Be very careful with the plus and minus. How much do you get? Change in tax will be a minus 100, right? When you work around. So minus 100, what does that mean? You have to decrease taxes by 100. So either you increase government spending by 80 or go and decrease tax by 100. Either if you do one of those, your 600 would go to 1,000. That's what they're saying. Is that clear, guys? Very simple. That's an easy 4 mark that you can get. First 4 mark is to calculate the multiplier. Second 4 mark is to use that multiplier and tell, okay, from 600 to 1000, if you are to go, what should happen to government spending? What should happen to taxes? Those 8 marks, the calculation, as simple as it gets. Is that okay? Others also I all fine? Yep. Okay. So with that, we'll wrap things up. I also need to get ready and run to work. I'll see you all again. We have a little bit more to do. If possible, we'll try to finish it on Thursday. If not, we'll have another class also early morning and finish it. No hurry. Okay. So can you all make sure that you all do the questions and come, because otherwise it's going to be too fast, guys. That's I'm just talking. Nothing is going into your head. You write answers, do the questions and come. Then it will make more sense. So we'll continue from the 2014 paper from the next class. See you all and have a nice day. See you guys. Bye-bye.